looking for?
Madonna, Blondie, Bowie, Beatles, music! We need music!
This is music!
You're the world! I'm the hit! I'm coming at you fast! Midnight, soon you'll see the sky! Ah! Here you wanna be! No! Have another beat! No! It's the last midnight! It's the last verse! Now before it's past midnight, I'm leaving you my last curse! Lost the beats again! Punish me the way you did then!
Okay, I didn't know that this production was happening to begin with. I guess I'm just out of the loop these days. But let me just read you the first paragraph of this review, because when I read it, my jaw was on the floor. You've never seen a Hamlet like this, and there's a reason for that. Okay, what does that mean? Robert Ick's sleekly modern yet textfully faithful production originally played London's Almeida Theatre in 2017 before transferring to the West End, where it won a galaxy of 5-star reviews. Now making its North American premiere at Park Avenue Armory, it is the dramatic equivalent of a ruined, which is clearly titillating to many British theatre critics. Okay, first of all, Hamlet too predictable. Moving on, I haven't seen it, not gonna comment on what the review says, but what I think is so fascinating is how it, like, did so well over in the West End, where, like, you would think, in theory, critics would be a little bit more particular about their Shakespeare because, you know, it's England, but over here it's not doing well. We should talk about this. Let's talk about the source material for Hamlet, because this is really cool, and I didn't know this until recently. So I took a Vikings class last semester, and in this class we read a book called the Gesta Danorum, which translates to The Deeds of the Danes, written by Saxo Grammaticus. This book is one of the main sources that we have about early Denmark history, and so crazy important source. Anyways, in it is the legend of this dude named Amleth, right? We're in class one day, my professor's like, okay, we're gonna read this section of the book. It's the legend of Amleth. It's the source material for Hamlet. I said, this is disgusting. Give it to me now. And oh, I was so excited. I'm reading this. This is like Hamlet, but make it Vikings. Like, make it an action movie Hamlet. Is it lacking nuance? Absolutely. Is it poetic? No, but it's like action movie Hamlet. Like, we have the young prince whose father mysteriously dies, and then his uncle marries his mom and takes the throne, and then he feigns madness and he seeks revenge, and we've got like the two buddy like guys who were like his friends but also like work for the king, and like revenge. Young woman who he's like got a fling with, who's like tempting him. Like, it's Viking Hamlet. It's good. Like, I genuinely enjoyed reading this. It's so cool to read. And so then the movie The Northman came out while I was taking this class, and the professor was like, you get extra credit if you go to the movie. It's based on Amleth. I said, so you're telling me that it's a Hamlet adaptation, but Vikings? Okay. That movie did not stick to the source material after 10 minutes in. I was so upset. I mean, sure, it's like this like quest for revenge, but like it was not Hamlet. It was not Amleth. He may have been named Amleth, but he was not Amleth. Yeah, it also took me a hot minute to realize that Amleth is like an anagram for Hamlet. Yeah, I'm just really stupid. But yeah, if you want to read Viking Hamlet, it's called The Legend of Amleth by Saxo Grammaticus in The Deeds of the Danes. You should read it. It's really cool. I would recommend it. 10 out of 10. But don't see The Northman. Not worth it. Didn't enjoy it. A lot of blood and guts. No thank you. Okay, last month I was at work at school. I worked at an ice cream shop, and this little old man comes in, and I'm thinking he's gonna be a sweet little old man, and then he starts slut shaming me for this outfit, right? This is what I was wearing. It's a cute little, I made a little crop moment, my Shakespeare shirt. Sometimes it's a little bit off the shoulder. Ooh, how scandalous, right? And it's been a month now, and I haven't told you about it because I was processing. I was really perplexed and uncomfortable about it, and now, reflecting back on it, I have come to learn the error of my ways, and yes, I am a slut. For Shakespeare. I'm back with Shakespeare Tuesday Tea Time, and I apologize for the not so brief hiatus. Life got in the way, but we're back, and that's all that matters. And today we're talking about misogyny and the tragedies in Hamlet specifically. There's a lot of misogyny in this play. We have a really interesting dynamic between women in this play because we have a she-wolf figure who is going to be Gertrude. She's not as extreme as like Margaret is or Tamara is going to be later in Titus Andronicus when we get to that play. And we have her, and then we have Ophelia, who is going to be like a victimized ingenue. And what's interesting about this is that they do not have a good relationship. They are not working together. And in many ways, Gertrude is responsible for a lot, for not defending Ophelia, at least in protecting her, because she watches what these men are doing to Ophelia and she doesn't do anything about it. So like, she's guilty of that, but they're not actively pitted against one another in this play the way that they are in Titus Andronicus, for example. And so that in itself is fascinating. I love Ophelia. She is absolutely one of my favorite Shakespeare characters ever. Brilliantly written, but unfortunately she is living in a man's world, and these men who are supposed to care about her do nothing but use her as bait and a pawn and brutalize her, and she's not really capable of making any decisions for herself until she makes the ultimate decision to take her life into her own hands and takes her own life in Act 4. This play is full of generalizations about women, and it's really hard to talk about misogyny in it if we're not talking about 3-1, which is get thee to a nunnery. I'm gonna let Hamlet speak for himself here. Let's go. Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, and with more offences at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. Skip ahead, skip ahead, skip ahead. I have heard of your paintings well enough. God hath given you one face and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, you lisp, you nickname God's creatures and make your wantonness your ignorance. To a nunnery, go. Let's generalize about women. Let's generalize about women. One time I sat in my Shakespeare professor's office for an hour and a half just talking about the line, get thee to a nunnery, and just every single thing that it could mean, meant, all the subtext. It was a great day.
I don't know how to flirt, but if you want to argue, I'm here.
Welcome back to Clueless Shakespeare with Ella. Today's character is going to be, ready? Iago. What play do you think it's from?
I just thought of the character from Aladdin, the parrot. So I'm gonna have to change my thought process. But I'm gonna go with like this character's like really annoying. Like it is he, she, I'm not really sure. Whatever they want to be. The most annoying character ever, and like nobody can stand them. Like they are absolutely ridiculous, and everything bad happens to this character too. It's like one of those things that like everything just continually like happens, and it's just one thing after another. And I'm kind of feeling like some sort of comedy, kind of like laughing at everything that happens to this person, and the rest of the cast is just like, I cannot deal with you. Like you are ridiculous, and laughs at the ridiculous things that happen. And this person really gets so fed up with everything that's happening and how they're the most annoying character, and they end up just like, and they can't do it anymore.
You know, Iago is the ultimate bad boy. He's from Othello. He's just like the manipulative bad boy to end all bad boys. Yeah, just, that was, again, not terrible.
I'm
I'm Brett. It's Shakespeare Tuesday tea time, and today we are continuing the discussion of misogyny and the tragedies in Titus and Andronicus. Woohoo! I'm just gonna say it. I'm a sucker for this play. I really like this play. It's really bloody, but I love it. And I think that this play is actually a brilliant case study on misogyny in Elizabethan dramatic literature. Not even just Elizabethan, just dramatic literature in general. Because, in my opinion, this play is, at least in Shakespeare's canon, is the epitome of these two archetypes of women against each other. We have Tamara, the Queen of the Goths, the ultimate she-wolf next to Margaret, she-wolf of France herself. And then Lavinia, who is victimized like none other in Shakespeare's canon, literally pitted up against one another. And it is just sickening, but also brilliant, because we have Tamara, who is like this absolutely evil, malicious, violent, cruel woman who lacks natural motherly tendencies. I mean, she tells Aaron to go off their newborn child, and she like encourages her sons to assault Lavinia and doesn't have any, quote, like womanly pity. Like, I'm just gonna read it. Lavinia says, this is in 2-3, that one scene. Lavinia says, no grace, no womanhood, obviously creature, the blot and enemy to our general name, confusion fall. Literally saying that Tamara just lacks all qualities that a good woman should have. And then at the end of the play, when Titus learns what happened to his daughter in the banquet scene, this is what is said. Before chaos ensues, this is what he says. My lord the emperor resolved me this, was it well done of rash Virginius to slay his daughter with his own right hand, because she was in forest stained and deflowered. It was Andronicus, your reason, mighty lord, because the girl should not survive her shame, and by her presence still renew his sorrows. A reason mighty strong and effectual, a pattern precedent, and lively warrant from the most wretched to perform the like. Die, Lavinia, in thy shame with thee, and with thy shame thy father's sorrow die. Lavinia cannot live with the shame of what has been done to her. We have an evil woman responsible for the downfall of a virtuous woman. That is peak Christian misogyny. Okay, so I played Juliet last month, and as research for my character study, I watched the big 3 Romeo and Juliet movies, so you don't have to, and I'm gonna rank them for you right now. Coming in 3rd place is gonna have to be the 2013 Romeo and Juliet adaptation by Carlo Carle, I don't know how you say his name. What did I love about this movie? I love the score. I love the score, and I thought the costumes were beautiful. I thought the cinematography was gorgeous. The locations were stunning. It was a very visually and audibly satisfying production. It was beautiful. It was truly beautifully aesthetic-wise. What did I not like about it, you ask? The fact that they maybe spoke 2% of the original text, and that the rest of it was just bad subtext that they spoke. They really only said the most famous lines, and even then, like, I don't know, wasn't, I will say though, there was a variable choice at the end. He, like, takes the poison, and then she wakes up before he's, like, gone, so, like, they make eye contact, and honestly, ooh, that was a bold choice, and I respect the bold choice. Was it the choice that I would have made? I don't know, I honestly don't have the answer to that. It was a bold choice that I'm still pondering a month later. Moving on. Speaking of bold choices, in 2nd place we have the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet with Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio. This movie, very bold choice. Very, very bold choice, and honestly, I respect it. I honestly think that Leo and Claire were wonderful, and I forget the name of the guy who plays Mercutio, but he was just truly everything. Like, giving everything. He carried it. It was great. Bold choices. Honestly, memorable. I have a soft spot for it because we watched it in my 8th grade English class. I think this was like my first exposure to concept Shakespeare, not very traditionally done, you know? And so I appreciate it, and it's an experience. And like, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I feel like you either hate this movie or love this movie. There's no in between. Actually, I might be the in between. you're bound to have a strong opinion on it in any direction. We're gonna go with that. Coming in at first place, this should come as no surprise, is the 1968 Franco Zeffirelli movie with the actor who looks like Zac Efron in tights the whole time. I watched this movie in my 8th grade English class, so it has a soft spot in my heart because like this was like my first real exposure to Shakespeare, so I love it. It's a very traditional adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. Setting, costume, character choice, acting wise, it's incredibly traditional. Is it how I think we should be doing Romeo and Juliet in the 21st century? No. It's pretty unoffensive, like it's classic. And I think it's classic for a reason, but it isn't necessarily the way I would like to see a production of this play done today. But I think that's okay. Yeah. Clueless Shakespeare Time with Ella. Today's character is Touchstone.
Mr. Touchstone. Okay. I could not even tell you in the slightest what play I think this character's from. I'm gonna go with a male character. Getting the vibes that Touchstone's kind of a weirdo. Nobody's really a fan of him. Kind of like the outcast. And he really likes this girl. And she is like this beautiful, like perfect, portrayed to be perfect female. And she ends up liking him, and everyone's just like, what in the world is going on here? But it turns out she may seem like she's perfect, but she's got a really dark side to her. And she gets Touchstone into some serious trouble, and so she's kind of the villain here. Even though everyone thinks she's sweet, perfect, lovely, love this character, but she's actually like mean, and especially mean to Touchstone. And he gets like, you know, the crap end of the stick because he is getting blamed for all the bad things that she is doing, and he continues to be the outcast, while she just ends up getting everything in life and continuing to be loved by everyone. And he is like, I will never get happiness. And he ends up like really, really depressed and on the verge of like not doing well.
Touchstone is the fool from As You Like It.
Wait, I really created this whole really deep backstory.
No, but some of it was, you were on with some of it. Touchstone has a love interest, falling with a girl named Audrey, who is a country gal, and he literally just like makes fun of her the whole time, and she doesn't talk very much in the play. He kind of makes fun of her looks a lot. It's weird. But Touchstone, yeah, he's a fool.